What's going on, everybody? It is your boy, the Bad Diggity Dizzle, back with another New York Giants video. And I know it's been a while since I've done a New York Giants video. So, hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you do me the honor, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to this channel. Make sure you ring the bell. That way you know when I do a Giants video, Yankee video, or go live for any kind of live stream. And you can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I will follow you back. Links to Instagram and Twitter are in the description. So thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. I want to talk about one of the Giants' free agent targets to be perhaps in Shaquille Barrett. Now, Shaquille Barrett had a massive season last year for Tampa Bay, 19 and a half sacks, led the league with 19 and a half sacks. He only had 8 sacks this year, so 27 and a half sacks last 2 years. There were rumors about Shaq Barrett going to the Giants last year, but Tampa Bay slapped the franchise tag on him, and that was obviously a good move. Anybody watched that NFC Championship game yesterday, Shaq Barrett is earning a big contract. He completely dominated that Green Bay offensive line. Aaron Rodgers is going to have nightmares. Shaq Barrett played like a man possessed. He was a big reason that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing in the Super Bowl. Shaq Barrett is a guy that is very intriguing for the New York Giants. There's definitely not a lot of edge rushers out there to be had, at least not that we know of. Now, it's very possible that Shaq Barrett gets franchised again. It's very possible he signs with somebody else. The big problem with the New York Giants is this. Now, initially, every year the cap goes up. We had the cap this year, I believe, is $198 million. Every year pretty much goes up 10%. So you're probably looking at about $220 million. The Giants were about $25 million under the cap. The Giants were looking at about $40 million in cap space, I believe. $40 to $45 million in cap space before any cuts were made. You're probably going to get rid of Solder. You're going to get rid of Golden Tate. That's going to save you about $16 million. You really could cut Zeitler if you chose to do that. That would give you about $28 million. And the Cody Core is going to be gone. He's cost us $2 million. There's no dead cap hit at all. Cody Core is going to be gone. He won't be here. But the Giants could have got up to about, like I said, $55, $60 million, maybe $65 million in cap space. It would have allowed us to have a lot more versatility in what we do as far as free agent signings go. Well, right now, the way the cap went, going back down to about $175 million, the Giants are actually over the cap by $13 million. Now, I really don't know what any of that means. I mean, I am not a wizard with the cap. I am not a GM. I don't get paid to make these decisions. I work in finance, but I have nothing to do with the NFL salary cap. But this obviously straps us for a lot less cash than we thought we'd have. The big question is this. You cannot sign Shaq Barrett and Leonard Williams. You can't afford to do both. So at this point, would you rather have Shaq Barrett or Leonard Williams? You're also not going to be able to go out and sign a Kenny Golladay or an Allen Robinson. It's unfortunate that this is what's happening. And to me, I believe that Kevin Zeitler is going to be a casualty of the cap. I would like to keep Kevin Zeitler here. I think he's been our best and most consistent offensive lineman. And with a young line, with guys like Shane Lemieux and Nick Gates, Will Hernandez and Andrew Thomas and Matt Parrott, I feel like they need that veteran presence in Kevin Zeitler. Nate Solder's not going to be here next year. He shouldn't be here next year. But I do believe the Giants save $12 million if they cut Zeitler. I just feel like that's going to have to happen. But that's my question to you guys. Okay. Do you want Shaq Barrett? Do you want a pure edge rusher like a Shaquille Barrett? Or do you want to go with Leonard Williams? To me, I'd rather go with Leonard Williams. And I'm going to tell you why. Leonard Williams, I understand. He was in a contract year, and I'm always wary of guys that have big seasons, career seasons, and contract years. So they're playing for a contract, and they are. Leonard Williams, when he came here a couple years ago, the trade didn't make a lot of sense. To me, it didn't make a lot of sense to a lot of Giants fans. But we saw what he did this year. It didn't make a lot of sense. He's Dave Gettleman's guy. Dave Gettleman went out and traded for him. Means Dave Gettleman's probably going to try to sign him. But Leonard Williams also could have had a huge season this year and flourished because of Patrick Graham's defense. The New York Giants defense is very good, and it's very possible that Leonard Williams just thrived in this scheme. Leonard Williams is used to this scheme. Leonard Williams is a Giant. Leonard Williams has been here for a couple years. Leonard Williams knows the system. He wouldn't have to learn it. He wouldn't have to do anything new. Also, he had a career high in sacks. I believe he had 10 and a half sacks this year. Leonard Williams, the pressure up the middle is the best pressure you can get in the NFL. It is. It would be nice to be able to have a pure edge rusher and Leonard Williams. That would be great. That's really what we want here. But you can't sign both of these guys. So really, it's pick your poison. And like I said, I don't think you can sign Leonard Williams and a top-flight free agent wide receiver. Again, we'll have to see where that cap space is when all is said and done, guys, because I really don't know. I'm just looking at it right now. when I cut Solder and I cut Zeitler and I cut Golden Tate and I cut Cody Core, that gave the Giants like $14 million in cap space. Now, again, you can restructure contracts. You can cut a lot more. There's a lot of things you can do to give yourself some fluctuation with the cap. Again, that's not my job. My job is to come on here and just kind of report my opinion. That's really what my job is. I don't get paid the big bucks like Gettleman. But it's interesting. Would you guys rather have Shaquille Barrett or would you rather have Leonard Williams? Like I said, to me, I feel like Leonard Williams thrives in this. I feel like his teammates love him. I feel like he's good for this team, and he's a couple years younger. Shaquille Barrett will be 29 years old in November. You do not want to sign Shaquille Barrett to a 4 or 5 year deal. His market value is almost $20 million. I checked it out today. I think it was $19.7 million. It was his cap. It was his market value. Now, again, I think with the cap going backwards and taking a massive hit, guys are going to have to sign for less money. I don't think they have a choice. Maybe Leonard Williams signs with the Giants for $16 million a year, $17 million a year. Maybe he does give us a little bit of a discount because he wants to stay a New York Giant. For me personally, I'd rather have Leonard Williams than Shaq Barrett. I just would. That's what I would want to do. I'd rather draft a defensive end if that's what we need to do. And unfortunately, because of the way the cap situation is, if we're going to sign Leonard Williams, I don't think we can afford Allen Robinson or Kenny Golladay, two guys that I really, really want. Because as Chris and I talked about in the AFC and NFC Championship game streams yesterday, the Giants went out and signed an Allen Robinson. This gives them a ton of versatility. They could go anywhere, in the draft. They could go cornerback too. They could go edge rusher. They could go Kyle Pitts. They could go offensive line. They could go cornerback. They could do a lot of different things if they signed a wide receiver. But again, I just don't think that they can afford them both. Maybe they can. Again, we'll have to see what happens. But there's no way that they could afford Shaq Barrett and Leonard Williams. I don't think that can happen. So if you got to pick one or the other, you give me Leonard Williams all day because I just feel like he fits the system better. He knows this system very well. His teammates are used to him, and he made an enormous impact for the New York Giants this year. Obviously, his crown achievement game this year was against the Seattle Seahawks. He destroyed Russell Williams. I believe he had 3 sacks or 2.5 sacks in that game, and the Giants won a very tough defense. Again, listen, the Giants' defense to me is good enough, okay? We need some offense over here. We need offense. Even with the lack of depth at cornerback, even without a pure cornerback number 2, you don't want Logan Ryan playing cornerback 2. Maybe Julian Love can do that. Sam Beal's going to come back. We don't know what Sam Beal's going to be. The Giants also may cut Sam Beal. Who knows? Again, there's going to be a lot of moves to be made. But to me, I don't know if Shaq Barrett fits our system. And I don't know if I would want Shaquille Barrett here going on 29 years old and paying that guy $19 million a year. I just don't think it's feasible. He is definitely a name that's out there. It's definitely a possibility. But if I'm going to pick between Leonard Williams and Shaquille Barrett, I want Leonard Williams to come back here and take care of that edge rusher somewhere else like in the draft. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting offseason. Sorry I haven't had a lot of content, guys. There's just not much to talk about when it comes to the New York Giants. It really isn't. We're not going to have a lot to talk about until after the Super Bowl, which is in a couple weeks. I'll try to put some Giants stuff out there just to get your opinion on stuff. But I don't want to force it every time. But just seeing the way Shaquille Barrett played yesterday, or Sunday rather, I wanted to put it out there and see what your guys' opinion is. Would you want Shaquille Barrett here as a New York Giant if it meant we could not bring Leonard Williams back? Let me know what you think in the comment section. As always, guys and girls, I really do appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. If you haven't done so, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, make sure you ring the bell. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you next time. It's Bad Diggity Dizzle, and I am gone. Peace!